Hi, my name's Debbie Butte. I'm the General Manager for Energy Inspection. Welcome along today. The purpose of this quick presentation is to just talk you through some new functionality changes that we've got in this new release. So before I jump into the software, what I want to show you first is just an overview. Hold on, let me reduce that. Put that down there. And I have to apologise if there's lots of noise and talking in the background. It's school holidays at the moment, so just trying to do the best I can with regards to putting this together. So this is I suppose, a library of all the changes that we've done in this release. So you can see that this release started in October, where we had some bug fixes, bug fix with regards to orientation, snap to grid, and going through November all the way to December. And we were supposed to actually get this version released in December, but a arrow key functionality issue just discovered before it went live, and we had to go back to the drawing board, just go in, change that, hence why the release is now ready for January. So if you this information is always included within the newsletter, so if you want to see what it is in detail, you've got that there. But just for the purpose of this presentation, let's go into, this is what I'm going to be pretty much going through, just these functionality changes, and you'll be able to find them yourself pretty easily, but I'll hopefully fly through them quite quickly so I don't absorb too much of your time, and we'll go through each one. Okay, right, I'm just going to jump into the software. Okay, so I'm in the software now. Let's go in and open up a project. Here we go. Right, so let's just start with the list. So correct version and application information detail. That's really simple. This is just the current latest version of the software. That's sitting on Cheneth Engine 3.21, and this is the date and the time that we did the last fix. So on the 16th of December at 9:45 is when we did that last arrow key functionality fix. So layered background plan image. So as you're aware, your background image only stays within your computer file. If somebody else opens up that file, they're not going to be able to see that information. They're going to have to re-upload the plans. They don't have to do that anymore. So that's really going to help, I suppose, on a business level with regards to teams working together and being able to see what other people are doing. I mean, obviously, when I check somebody else's work, I'll still tend to put the plan in there just to make sure the scaling is correct and accurate. But it hasn't really been put in to assist with in-house assessors. It's more to do with accreditation and auditing. So AAOs want to be able to do easier, quick spot checks with regards to assessors' work, and this will allow them to do that. Okay, so what else have we got? We've got a button to centralize the floor plan. That is as simple as it will just centralize it. So before I modeled that project in the old software version, now every time I do it in the new version, I'll just centralize it. We'll make it better if you've got really big projects or really small projects on a large scaled floor plan. Instead of them being off somewhere else in the software, you can now centralize it. So as simple as that. Okay, let's have a look at the automated address. And this is great. So if I put in, let's say, house number 54, 54, ozone code. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, what am I doing? Straight back into old habits. Of course, I have to do it here. 54 Ozone Road, and I'm going to select this one in Marmion, and you can see it autofills. So this is also going to clean up the information in the portal, because you're not going to have ozone RD or road spelt wrong or road as full. It's going to be like that every time. It's also going to help assessors like me. Sometimes I'll make a mistake and I don't realize until I've uploaded the file into the portal and I've got a certificate on my desktop and I've got to go and do it all again. So that's going to help. This also drills down into two separate areas. The first area is here. And if we now go to Google Maps, you can, that information is automatically, oh, you can't see that, there you go. That information automatically drops down. So if I want to know, okay, so where is it? Here we go, 54 Ozone Road. And the site plan, for example, doesn't give much information. I can now go and go, do you know what? So that's going to be an exposed site. So I need to check exposed. But then what I also would do on every job is I'd go to Google Maps again, just to give me more information than what's on the site plan. Again, I can just go in, and what I would do is drop that in there, spin it around and go, okay, let's go down. There is probably, I don't know, let's say the house is going to be at this level. There's probably a meter or half a meter from this level to this point. And then if we look at the house, you are probably looking at, I don't know, maybe 6.5 meters. So my shading would be, this driveway is 4 meters back, this driveway is 4 meters back, add the extra meter, you get the point. So you can, it's just going to really help with modeling. Okay, so what else have we got? Google Maps. So this does not link to the location. You are still going to have to do your location either with the postcode, which is 6020. Oh no, 20. For Marmion there, or as you know, you can select it by writing Marmion there. So just remember to do that. That's still a manual process. Right, this is a really good function. We can now select windows, and I can now just add them. And you can see here, it's going to stay, it's staying depressed. So I can add my window in there. This is a 2410 window. The openability is said 3%. Oh, it's because I haven't got my keyboard connected. 2410. And you can copy as you would normally. And look, I keep going back up there. I've got to change those habits of always going back. You can drop that in there. I've got another one I'm going to drop in there. This window is 45% openable, 4010, drop that in there. I didn't drop that in, did I? 2410, yep. I just forgot to, I dropped it in and forgot to paste it. Let's just do another window. This is 1200 high by 810. It's a awning window, so I'm going to change it to awning, 90% openable. For example, if it was adjacent windows, I would check the awning window, could copy that. Oh no, just got to change that, 810, and I can copy that and drop it in there. These ones are 18. 18 on my brick course is 1543. So 1543, and so that's another little feature. I don't know if anyone noticed, probably about 2 or 3 years ago, you could, let's say, select your ceiling height, your head height of the window, click across, and it was just so much easier to complete your windows. That used to go in reverse. We've managed to put that in the right order just to make windows so much easier to fill. So let's just put that So we've got course height of 18, which is 1543. This window is 910. It's still awning. Let's just say there's no offset here. And I'm going to copy that. And then again, I can just put in a key. Oh no, why isn't that working? Oh, because I'm not on my computer again. Press return key if you want to be really quick. So I need to go in and select that to stop adding windows. Oh, and look, this is an error that I've been making quite a few times because it's very, very difficult to, I've been modeling, obviously, like you lot, windows that way for a very long time, and I keep forgetting to underpress. So if we go now and have a look at my externals, it's not even showing it that clearly, but I've added 2 windows here and 2 windows here, and let's just zoom in. So there you go. I need to unselect that and unselect that. And if I'm going to select that again, I can now put nope. So what would I do? I'm going to copy that and drop that in there. So anyway, it's going to take you a bit of time. It's taken me a bit of time because I am used to just going window drop, window drop, window drop. And you've got to remember it's depressed. And you have to go back and unselect it. So same with the doors. So this is really going to aid. I can just drop my drawers in really quick now. Let's go. That's 720. 720. I've got an opening here. That's at 2143, 25 courses on the brick chart, and tabbing across, that's 1000. Oh, up here again. So you get the idea. It's going to really speed up once you get used to remembering to unclick it so that you stop putting doors in or you stop putting windows in. For me, I've modeled a few jobs and I have to every time just get into the process at the moment of double checking through looking at this to make sure I don't have double windows. But as you're probably all aware, sometimes you can do a double window and it will disappear. So just have some caution there. Okay, so that's the windows and doors dealt with. We have new information here. So this is going to be really handy for businesses that have 3 or 4 assessors and you jump into each other's jobs for whatever reasons. I might be going on leave and this job was a little bit tricky because I had to have 3 different break ceilings and roof pitches, and I had to model our 1.3 bulk to external walls because this was a different product, and that was my my workaround based on 5mm rock wall or whatever. So obviously you can see all my typos, but you get the point. You can put whatever you want in there. That does not go onto the certificate. That is just for in-house information. Okay, this one is really good. As you know, if you are modeling a lightweight stud building, the certificate doesn't, it shows R2 bulk and no insulation, but it doesn't tell you where that R bulk needs to go. So on all lightweight jobs, I'll tend to go R2 bulk to internal carriage walls, and perhaps maybe on this job I've got plus WC, bath and laundry. And then maybe all remaining walls as uninsulated. So that will, and again, excuse the typing, and that will actually drill down into the, as you know, drill down into the certificate. And it can be quite time consuming if you've got a lot of detail to put in there. So what we're able to do is to now create a library of information. Why can't I make that bigger? Anyway. So let's have a look. So I've already created this one. I could then select that I've modeled a protected tree. My external wall colors are medium. Yes, I've got R2 and I don't know. Let's go for exhaust fans. I can open all them and there we have. So if I wanted to get rid of that detail, let's delete that off. So you can add whatever you want here and you can add it to your own library. So if you've got a client that you have the same information for every time, you can now go in, and I'm going to have this as my blogs client. So every time I'm doing that job, I can go in and pick up that information. There we go. It's just gone in again. So I think you'll be really pleased with that, because that's just, again, going to speed things up. Okay, so I just need to add another floor to show you this next feature. And I'm going to add a zone. Let's just call it home. Okay, my recording stopped, so let's just pick up where it left off. So I'm going to add a zone, and I'm just going to draw a zone, calling it home theatre. And just want to highlight that we've removed the insect screen click button. About 3 or 4 versions ago, it became a automatic thing that you didn't have to add individually, and we just forgot to remove the button. So we've just removed that. So if I go in and I'll just quickly model a zone above the garage for the purpose of showing you a new feature. So when you model a upper floor, the windows now default to the NatHERS value, and that's about windows being restricted. So in WA, any window, I think, above, I think, 1 meters has to be, no, below 1.2 meters anyway, has to be restricted. So following the NatHERS principles, you have to model the window as 10%. So most of the windows we model are at 10%, unless it's an awning or something like that. It might be slightly different. That's your call to make. So for example, if you've got balcony doors, you could just change and model 45%. So you can always override that. It's just really to remind assessors to follow the NatHERS principles. Okay, so we've got that. The latest BERS information with regards to Windows data has been uploaded into the software. So hopefully you'll have a whole increase with regards to Windows selections. One of the features that we would like to add to the software is so that you can create your own library of window manufacturers. So for example, in WA, I probably use 2 to 3 window manufacturers all the time, and it would be so much easier if I had that information available in my own library, just to be able to go and get that information a lot more quickly. So that's something we're looking at. Okay, so this is another one. You're able to open a BERS Pro file from any location. So in the past, I would save all our information to a database and have to go in, get that out of the database, put it onto my desktop, and then open it through this functionality. Now what I can do is literally just double click a project and go back in, and there we have it. So likewise, if I just want to go back into this project, now obviously you wouldn't need to do that on your desktop, because you'd be able to do that in the normal conventional way, but it's just so that it's you can have your files located anywhere within your database and go in and get it that way. And there we go, we're back to that project again. Okay, so this new version prohibits the of older versions of of license files to be used. So you can't put 4.2 in, you can't put old 4.3s in. You've got to be using the latest versions. I'm not sure what 4.3 ones cannot be used, but just to be aware that all assessors should be using the latest version and not expired or old versions, especially with whole of house coming in. We need to get users to be using this version as quickly as possible, because it's this version that will obviously be tying the whole of house to. So it will just make the whole process of moving to the new NCC requirements a lot more seamless for you if you're already up to date with the latest version. Oh, and lastly, we have, I'm sure you must have seen it, we have a new box here, and it's called the Declaration of Principles. So once you've done your modelling, this is just to remind you to make sure that you've done your shading, because as you know, an assessor who doesn't put their shading on, they could have a half star improvement, but that rating wouldn't be realistic. So let me just take that, because I'll show you what will happen. So if I try and simulate, then obviously you need to have all this information. So let's just put all that information in quickly. So we went for, didn't we, 44. Oh, again, old habits. 54 Ozone Road. I'm going to go for Marmion. Now in Australia, we never have, sorry, in WA, we don't have DP numbers like you do in Queensland. So we just have to put something in there just to make sure it simulates. And just for the sake of this assessment, I'll just put some information in there. So if I was going to go and simulate that, it would say, hang on a minute, it's not going to simulate it because you haven't declared the principle of shading. So you can then go in and go, do you know what? I have done my shading correctly in accordance with NatHERS principles, or I've got a project that's sitting in the middle of a paddock and there's no shading at all. So hence I've not modeled the shading, no applicable. So either one, I can now simulate it. And there we go. I think that's it. The only other two things I want to mention is that pinging noise. We're going to be removing that completely, because I'll show you, let's say, for example, let's say if I put 2700 in, 2700, it's going to come up with a default because my external wall is 2400. So it pings and it brings up the notice. Now, since COVID, I'm working online much more, and that pinging noise, and sometimes I'll be in a meeting but still doing some modelling, it's just distracting. So we're going to get rid of it. So that's one thing. And lastly, when I was doing the testing of this file, sometimes I would pick up a original BERS Pro file, as in from the last version, which was 4.4.0.6, and I would try to open it in this latest and save it in the latest release, and it wouldn't save. So as a workaround, I either had to create another run or just go just write something to make a new make a new name of the file. So if that happens to you, that's the workaround. Maybe I'm not sure. It's happened a few times. I've got no idea. Okay, all right. So we're pretty much done. Thank you for joining me today. Hopefully, I didn't go on too much, but it just gives you a bit more information with regards to what's going on, and just involves you a bit more in the process and gives you a better understanding of what we're doing with regards to development. So what's next? Whole of house. We are still putting that information together. The loadings are all provided by CSIRO. So with regards to thermal bridging on steel stud frames, appliance loading, that information. So we're basically building the infrastructure so that information can sit on it. So we've got a very busy 4 to 5 months ahead getting that ready for the 1st of September 2022 when the new NCC requirements are released. So next time we have an update, we'll probably do this kind of thing so that we can involve you in the process. Anyway, thanks again for listening. All right, cheers.